What up, weirdos? It's your boy Raindrop, Range Rizzle, my co-host, co-captain, Cole, conspirator, Uncle Juju.
What is up, babies?
Welcome back to BXTV, aka Back from Hell, your Spotify and YouTube podcast. Everything you didn't know, you needed to know, you're about to find out right now, you dig? Welcome back, everybody. I hope you had a wonderful week since we've been on, you know what I'm saying? But since then, we've posted a YouTube video, another podcast, so go check that short out and that podcast, you dig?
And smash that like button, subscribe to all the shit you got to do to follow us, because you know you want to follow us.
And drop a comment, you dig? Do that shit.
Tell us how much you love us.
But if you guys don't know, we like to do a thing here called Comic Book of the Week. It's the first thing. It's how we kind of ease into the show. Me and Juju basically review a comic book of our choice, and we give a take on the art and the story. 1 out of 10 is the grade. And with that being said, it is this week is Punisher, The Man is Different, The Mission Remains the Same. Written by Papozzi?
Papose.
Papose?
Yeah.
And Watchter and Brown?
Yes.
Here's the cover for... But, anybody
Sick fucking cover, by the way.
Yeah, no, it is. If you guys haven't been reading this series, this Punisher, spoiler alert, is not Frank Castle. It is Joe Garrison. He is ex-SHIELD agent who is known as the Gravedigger. He was apparently a fucking savage, from what I understand. And basically, though, if you were reading in issue 1, everybody thinks he's Frank Castle by the end. And in the very beginning of issue 1, before I even get into this, I like the series. The only thing I don't like, if you read issue 1, it's very similar to Frank Castle's story. Like, exactly what happened to Frank Castle happens to Joe Garrison, and it's like, come on. Like, could we have
twice.
Could we just have a different origin story? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, all right, I get it. Like, everybody who works for the government in this universe gets but like it's different. We'll go into it. You see what happens actually.
Yeah.
But it starts out with the two cops. What's their fucking Lucian? What's the cop's fucking name, dude? I don't even remember the cop's name, dude. Linus. Yeah. Linus and the other detective, they put together because they see on the news, because like they're like, look, because in the first issue, Joe Garrison's family gets blown up by a bomb. His wife, his daughter, his kids, whatever, they die in a bombing in the like a house bombing, and they think it's Joe because he's the only one not there, and he has no background info on his job because he worked for SHIELD, so they think it was like some weird shit. And they're looking for Joe, and sure enough, the very beginning of this comic, issue 2, fucking Joe's on the screen fighting Dr. Hyde. And they're like, well, we know who the Punisher really is. And, like, so the cops are the only ones right now who, like, at least, like civilian-wise, know who the Punisher is.
Yeah. On the ground level. And there's also this dude called the Offer?
Yes, the crime boss. Killed by Sabretooth, but he made a deal with Lady Death that she couldn't refuse. Is word for word what it says in the comic book.
Yeah, it says in the comic book, yeah.
So that I think that's like his like quote unquote superpower is like he's like the ultimate negotiator. I wonder what the fuck he proposed to get Lady Death to bring him back to Earth. What did he propose to her? Like,
I'll find a way to kill Thanos for you.
No, because I think she could do that. And Deadpool's killed him multiple times.
Yeah.
So I don't think killing Thanos is as hard as you think it is.
I don't know. Like what?
But
The kid, I don't know. Life, death. What would death be interested in? Like,
more death. I guess he
yeah,
guarantees more souls of some sort.
yeah.
But I love how like at first they're introducing him as this like badass son of a bitch, and
Yeah.
and then as soon as he's like, no way, it can't be. Next panel, it's the Punisher in the fucking elevator unit like climbing through, and it's just like he's like shitting. He looks scared shitless, bro.
Oh yeah,
He
he's like, oh fuck, I'm fucked.
Yeah, dude.
Um, so, Punisher is going after the offer. I think to get information, right? He
Yes,
says it
he's
outright.
going
Yes.
after because like he killed the Savakian and
Yeah.
he kills Dr. Hyde. And Savakian's the one who bombed his family, and he
Yeah.
somehow figured out with AAA his little recon
Dude in the
buddy,
chair. Yeah.
his microchip. That's Frank Castle's dude in a chair.
Yeah. Um.
They figure out like they go to offer because they're
Yeah.
like he knows everything that goes on in this city, like he knows everything, so he'll know. And lo and behold, though, when they figure out Frank Castle's there, we get introduced to a new a new villain team who doesn't last very long.
No, and like their
Oh, but
powers are so weirdly arbitrary.
yeah,
Like,
but straight up, they're called the Night Shift. The team is called the
yeah.
Night Shift. And real quick, let's give the rundown on the Night Shift. The Night Shift is the bushwhacker. His body can
Yeah.
turn into weapons, and he can create his own ammo. So like
Yeah.
he's his own like fuel powered weapon. There's the eel. He basically has EMP hands that have like 200 watts of fucking electricity.
Electric eel. Enough said.
Yeah, well, his name's the eel. Finesse. That one was kind of cool.
Yeah.
That was a cool like random shot at another character. This is
Yeah.
Taskmaster's daughter. She has the same skills as photogenic reflexes. Basically, like she can basically do anything you do. Like she can
Yeah.
like all your moves. She can like remember them. And she's been trained by Norman Osborn and the Avengers. They tried to make her seem pretty badass. And then the
Yeah.
goofy one was Doughboy. He's some pissed off, ugly nerd who broke into his dad's lab and now is basically like this mud pile.
He's basically like Clayface if Clayface was like a kid. Is my interpretation of that.
Yeah, pretty much. And Punisher basically dust all of them.
Oh yeah, and like
My favorite panel in this comic is when the guy when Doughboy covers him.
Yes, I was actually gonna say that.
And
yeah.
he just fucking's like, let's see how durable you are, buddy, or whatever. And he fucking just hits the C4 on his chest. And, like, he sees how strong his Teflon is, and he just fucking blows him to shit. Because, like, that was, like, the one thing I don't really like about this comic is that, like, a lot of his guns are, like, not guns. They're, like, rail guns and, like, electric blast stuff and things like that. But
gadgets more than their guns.
Yeah, but but I do like when, like, I hate to say this, but when they actually like kill somebody, like when something's like actually like detrimental, like there's no coming back from this in the comic, like you have now changed the course of whatever. I like that because it brings that realness and that seriousness to the Punisher. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and I don't know. I was like, holy shit, yo, like. He just killed that, like, 18-year-old. Like, that dude was trying to kill him, but, like, he just, like, suicide bombed that guy and survived. And, like, that was gnarly. You know? Like, that was straight up fucking gnarly.
Then he also, like, he gets, like, the dude's, like, gauntlet. Fuck some people up with that. The electric, like, that was one of
Well, yeah, that was well, he does it to he said I picked this up from your buddy, and he hits finesse with it. Taskmaster's daughter.
And then he goes up against Bushwhacker, who's like turning into chainsaws and like
Yeah.
fucking guns and shit. And then
He's
we
made
were
his
talking
plot
about it. We were talking about it last night.
on the pod.
Sting made a
Follow us on Twitch at BrandedXTV live
Yeah.
every Friday and Saturday at 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Boom, baby. That's how you do a fucking ad.
Just go.
We were talking about plastic.
Well,
like, yeah, his skin secretes that.
Yeah. And he just started
thermal fucking
yeah, and he starts like melting the motherfucker, dude.
Yeah.
I thought the gnarliest twist though is he beats everybody's ass and he gets to fucking the offer. And he's like, "Are you gonna kill me? Like, I can give you anything you want, a new life." He's like, "Tried that, doesn't work. I'm actually here to make a deal with you." And it's like, oh, it's like, I think that's the dude's superpower. Like, he's just, everybody wants to make an offer with him, some kind of deal.
Yeah.
Like, that's just his power. And either way, Joe is like, I need information on like who killed my family or like who wanted me dead. And then he was like, and the offer's like, are you serious? Like, you don't know? Somebody put a fucking $10 million bounty on like the e-web, like the dark web, like a fucking hit on his wife.
Yep.
And he was like, why the fuck did somebody put a hit on my wife, dude? And he was like, it wasn't.
She was just a secretary.
Well, no, she wasn't a secretary. She was
that's what he said. But then the guy was like, "Oh, but like she was a secretary for somebody who was very high up, and she knew."
No,
like,
she wasn't a secretary. She was the one. She was a pencil pusher. That's not the exact words he used, but he was talking. He said, "Your wife is the one who flagged like some bad statements." So somebody up top got the word of it, and they put a hit on your wife to get rid of the problem. Like, it wasn't, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't somebody she worked for. It was that she herself flagged those statements. So they killed her. So nobody. So when she dies, basically, they're gonna have to like they're not gonna know why she flagged it. You know what I mean? Like, they're gonna have to try and figure it.
Goes away.
Yeah. So, and it was crazy though, dude, because you see it in his face. Like, he is pissed.
Yeah.
He's enraged, and the guy like. You're like, yo, he's like, what's gonna, and the guy's asking him, like, are we cool now? Like, are we even? I gave you, like, everything. And he's like, I don't hear nothing but, like, my fucking heart beating or whatever he says. Like, and then the next panel, dude, he fucking charges this motherfucker over his desk, through the window, onto a car, and he says, don't worry about it. After he slams him onto the roof of a car, he's like, don't worry about it. You'll live. What the
done deal.
What the fuck? And that was the end, right?
That was my second favorite. Yeah, that was my second favorite panel. Is just the chair going out of the window.
Oh yeah, dude. No, like him just tackling him out. That was another very Punisher move. You know what I'm saying? Like in Punisher Max in issue 6. He jumps out he pushes a dude out a window. He goes onto a fence, and then he jumps out the window and stomps him down through the fence.
Yes.
So like to see that now, I was like, all right, there's definitely like some like throwback here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
just likes to throw people out of windows.
I really do believe the guy who's doing this is really trying to like make a new Punisher. Like, I feel like, correct. I don't know enough to know if I'm right about this. This is my assumption. I believe the person who's writing Punisher Max, not Max, this Punisher, what's his name? Pepe. Where's my? Do you know his first name? Can you look it up?
Yeah, I had it.
I just want to. Either way, I think somebody at Marvel definitely pitched the idea that they.
David Pepose.
Okay, David Pepose. He's not doing a bad job of writing Joe Garrison as as the Punisher. I think just the biggest flaw, like his backstory is cool, other than how his wife dies. I know this time, I know the difference with Frank Castle is that Frank Castle leaves doing fucked up missions, and they want him dead so he's not a loose string. So they kill him, and they try to kill him and his whole family, and then he lives, and that's his whole story arc. This one, I get what they did. They were like, all right, we'll make it his wife, but it's like, it's too it's just a little too familiar for, and
Yeah.
I think that's what's gonna draw too many people away.
And it's also like how misfortunate, how unfortunate is it for the same basic thing to happen twice to two separate families and that have the same outcome?
I
The
mean,
guy ultimately
but
Punisher, you know?
another argument though is it makes sense because it's like you both were doing dirty missions, and like not dirty
Yeah,
missions, like your wife did something dirty, and clearly like there's people dirty in this world.
yeah.
So, cause like there's like some
He was
kind of like,
punished.
cause Dr. Hyde was into like a
Yeah,
whole fucking hormone underground like fucking scheme. So like there's clearly a bunch of
yeah.
like, and then they like the first book he's also like in an underground like gang bar or whatever. Like, so I mean, I think it's unfortunate though, because I almost don't believe it was the writer's idea. I almost believe somebody at Marvel was like, we're gonna, we're gonna do a new Punisher, and we're gonna make it this like, but keep it familiar. I could be wrong though. It could be the writer, because if I was the writer, I would have done Joe Garrison. This is my own, and then we'll go on to the grading and say what we, you
yeah,
know what I mean? I, if it was my Punisher, Joe Garrison, I would have made him the Gravedigger from Shield, and it made him not a family guy, and I would make it him like as soon as he saw what happened with the Punisher, Frank Castle, so he goes off grid, off rip, and then it's just them trying to hunt him down, and it's just him off the grid, like getting
yeah.
hunted down.
That
I feel like that would have been
yeah,
the better case to start with.
yeah. And I also think that like it's
Or
kind of weird. It's weird how they shoehorn this theme of like his wife was basically punished for doing the right thing. Like,
well, no,
she
I
saw something
well
sketchy
no,
and she
you kind of just said it. You kind of nailed your own coffin with what the word you just said. His wife being punished.
yeah,
He's the Punisher. It falls in,
exactly.
it falls in with the story. That is like kind of why I do like it at the same time, is because it's like you like you're punishing yourself, and now you find out it's your wife's fault, and like it's your wife's fault for doing something that she thought she was just doing right. Like, so like it's even more fucked up to him because his wife got killed for doing the right thing.
Yeah,
And
and he said that in the internal monologue. Is like, this whole time I thought it was something that I did, but it turned out that she was being punished
I do
for doing the right thing. Yeah,
I do sadly think, because it's so, the first book is so similar, like intro wise, because this is only a miniseries. What is it, 4 books?
yeah, yeah.
Um,
It's only 4 books.
I sadly don't think this is gonna be like a super sought out series, but this is definitely a Punisher series that I will go back and read because I own it, and you're gonna own it.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like it's like if you want like a different Punisher story and modernize and like just something fun and like different characters. That's what I like. I like that they're trying to just be like, here are the villains he's fucking with. Like they're just
yeah.
randoms. They're random motherfuckers, dude. But other than that, what do we think the grade is on the art?
I would give the art I would give it a 7. Um,
I was gonna say a 7.5. Can you
yeah,
agree? Can you bump it to a half a point? And
yeah. I'll give the half a point. I'll meet you halfway.
because I think what really saves it is that scene where he blows himself the fuck up.
Yeah,
That was so sick. That was so like, oh, like we've already said, that's probably the best part of the comic, was him just bang.
and also like I liked the character design for Bushwhacker. I thoroughly enjoyed just like his first scene where he's holding up his hand and it's a fucking like machine gun
I
basically. And it's like, oh,
I
okay,
definitely like that they threw a team at him.
yeah,
I would love to see, like, if they ever bring Joe Garrison back, I would love to see Bushwhacker just be a pain in his ass. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Bushwhacker and Finesse fall in love, and they just want to take down the Punisher. Like, dude, why are we not signed by Marvel? Come on.
Come on.
Because Bushwhacker was a good character design. He was fun. He was cool. And he seems like he could be a pain.
Yeah, and he also was like a very mouthy motherfucker too.
Imagine though, you start. I think the Offer had potential, bro. Like the Offer could he could be a character that could save modern day Spider-Man comics. If you brought him in as a crime boss, on a
or
as
like a
you do a
or a
Punisher.
rival.
Yeah, do a mini. Okay, back to it real quick. So we give the art a 7.5. What do we give the story?
Yeah. I'll give it an 8. Because I did kind of like the twist at the end because it felt like, yeah, okay, it's a different Punisher, but like the same kind of thing happened to this guy as the previous incarnation. Fine, but then just like that gut wrenching, like, oh wait, what? And then just his release of just being like, all right, I'm gonna throw this motherfucker out the window, and
I'm not gonna kill you, but I'm gonna critically hurt you.
I'm gonna,
so
yeah.
you never do nothing towards me ever or try. But
yeah.
I would agree that it's an 8, mainly because the fact that his wife did it and somebody in the underground world paid for a hit on his wife now means the next 2 issues are probably going to be bloodbaths of Joe Garrison just showing us why he was called the Gravedigger. I think we're about because it's different. He's not doing this for his own. He's doing this because his wife literally did something right and she can't live to make justice happen. And he survived it, and he's capable. You know what I mean? So I do you think I'm wrong? Do you not think the next 2 issues are going to be just gas pedal to the floor?
Oh, dude, yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to be very Dirty Harry-esque. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I agree. So the writing 8, the art 7.5. Overall, though, this series is fun if you just want something to add to your pool box. I would maybe wait for the trade to come out because it'll probably be cheap. It's only 4 issues if they make a trade. I don't even know if they'll make a trade of this. They kind of do for everything now that's new. But I wanted to say the Offer could be so big. You could somehow he shows up in Hell's Kitchen and fucking Spider-Man and everybody, and then have whatever happens to Joe Garrison, he could show up. You know what I mean? Do a spin-off series to the because modern Spider-Man, other than Gang War, it's been pretty stale.
Yeah, and I think Twitter has been very, very fucking clear on that.
Yeah, no, I used to just say they hate Spider-Man, but it's not that great.
Yeah.
I tried to read I bought a trade paperback because I own the first 3 issues of Battle of the Bands Spider-Punk by Tony, the cover by Tony Daniels for the first one. And I got the trade because I was like, this sounds like it would be cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dude, I couldn't get through issue 2. I think I read up to 3. I think I got through the first 2 issues. It wasn't bad. It was just way too much yo, that's Cap. Or it was just way too what is it, Gen Z slang?
Yeah.
I think if you were 13, even, I would say 14 to 18.
Zoomer.
Yeah, 14 to 18, that book would appeal to you.
You would be you would be Gen Z, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I was born in 96.
I think you're cut off, like off the cutoff for the millennial. You're like late millennial.
Okay, either way, I I don't think because people are gonna be like, you don't like it because of the views in it. No, I don't mind anything that's like because there's a lot of different stuff and
Yeah,
people would say it's controversial, which I think is fine. It's a multiverse; they're all different. But it was the writing. I just like the language, like it was too young. Like
yeah,
like I couldn't do it. Too PG, like almost PG. It wasn't PG though. It was like PG-13 on the verge of R, but not.
and also like a lot of no cap and
Like I don't know, dude. Like it was just I couldn't do it. It wasn't for me, and the art was cool. The art was cool, but it wasn't for
yeah.
me. I was sad.
No,
Will I get
that's
rid of the trade? Probably not. I'll probably wait to see if I have kids or see if my nephew grows up and starts reading comics and still like Spider-Man. I'll be like, here you go, dude. Like, read this.
very strong.
I'll give it to him when he's like 17 though or 16.
Yeah. um. So, have you given any thought to what we're probably going to be doing next week?
Oh, what Christmas?
No, I mean like comic book wise.
Oh, I was thinking about it. So, do do you want to continue to do something new or?
Sure.
All right, so let's so something new. Let's see. Um, let's see. Log. I don't know. What's the next topic?
All right. So, after reading Punisher and you reading Punisher Max for a period of time, we gotta kind of just talk about who your favorite anti-hero is, and why.
Oh, that's good. Do you know yours?
Uh, I do actually. Um, I gotta pick the Hound from Game of Thrones.
Really?
Starts off, yeah.
Oh,
Starts
I
off.
thought we were doing comics since we're talking about.
Oh, I read that as like in general.
Well,
But comic book
we're
wise,
talking about comic book characters. Why would they not be comic books?
um, well, hmm, I would have honestly kind of a tough one.
I know, dude. There's so many like Spawn, Deadpool, Venom
All right,
occasionally.
you gotta hear you gotta hear me out on this one. I gotta go with Rorschach from Watchmen
Rorschach.
because
See,
yeah,
I haven't finished Watchmen, so I don't. I kind of see why people say he's an anti-hero a little bit from the first couple books, but I don't 100% know. You know what I mean?
um, no, I understand why. The reason why I like him, other than like his costume design, which I think the mask thing with the ink blots was fucking genius design. But I like the fact that he is a very black and white character. It's like you were either morally right or you are corrupt. There is no like middle ground with him. Um,
Yeah.
and I loved his arc from the beginning of like trying to figure out who killed the comedian all the way through. Just every panel that Rorschach was in, I was like thoroughly interested in.
That's not that's like a very valid thing, you know? That's something you were really into. You loved it. You know what I mean? Like so I could understand that. I could
And
definitely
also like he had he had like some of the greatest lines in that book where it's like, someday the city will scream out, "Save me," and I'll say, "No." Like
No. My dude, see Her anti-hero in a comic book. Damn, dude. I would I would probably Okay. So hear me out. I don't know if this really counts, but at the moment, Michonne from The Walking Dead.
Okay.
She's like a
Yeah, I'll accept that.
she does some fucked up shit in the comic. But it's like to some fucked up people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Um, and I mean, she's also kind of one of those moral black, black and white kind of deals, you know.
Oh, 100%. And I think my runner up, I'm going to be cliche and say Deadpool. No. Yeah. 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 Probably Deadpool. I love reading Deadpool. I'm not going to lie to you. I think it's so fun. I think it's so fucking fun.
um, I gotta agree with you. It's he's it's so funny because like he did start out initially as like a villain for the X-Men and then just kind of like became his
Well,
own.
it was one dude started really forming him into the comedic character as we know today. I can't
Yeah.
remember his name. Uh he's the one who apparently like really shaped him into this like comical anti-hero, which I'm fine with. Some people hate it, but I think
Yeah.
it's fun.
Um
I just think some people are better at writing it than others.
yeah. Yeah. That we'll get into that in a few with a different topic, but like no, I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um so with with all the craziness in the world coming out, A24 decides to release a movie called Civil War
Oh,
about
dude.
an American Civil War Part 2.
Um,
um,
no, that it's supposed to come out in 2024.
yeah,
April 26, 2024. It looks fucking good, dude. Kirsten Dunst, Jesse Plemons,
yes,
Kaylee Spani, Wagner Mora, Nick Offerman, Stephen
yep,
McKinley, Sonia Mizuno. Like, there's some big names in it, dude.
yeah.
Uh, I'm hyped. It basically looks like what? Like the like Texas and the West is like going to war with the West.
Texas and California fucking secede from the Union. And,
Yeah,
like,
dude. And like all fucking shit is breaking loose.
I mean, like that's where all the guns are, right? um,
I don't know. There's probably a lot in the South. They're a
yeah.
lot less. Their gun laws are way crazier out in Cali.
Oh yeah, there would, but like Texas makes up for it. Texas is like you cross over the state border to change your driver's license, they hand you a gun. You
Yeah,
know?
I know, but you're really not considering the South, bro. I think it'd be.
Oh, it'd be a. I mean, it looks like it's gonna be a bloodbath, and it
I'm here
also
for
looks.
it. It looks like it's gonna be
Yeah,
fucking good.
and I mean that's kind of a thought that's been swimming around in my head for quite a while. Is like what it would be like if America just kind of decided to tear itself apart for a little bit.
I don't even care about that. I'm more here just for a good, hopefully a good end of the world movie. Like the world going, or at least like the U.S. like collapsing, because like there's been a few, but they've been so like ass,
Yeah,
and
you had
then
like White House down and
which
like
was
all this was
entertaining.
falling.
It was entertaining though. White House Down and shit was entertaining. I'm not gonna lie. Like I watched those movies and didn't hate them, but this looks like it's gonna be like a more real take, and like it's gonna be like anxiety filled, and I'm very
Yeah,
very excited for it.
dude. Like, in the trailer, they have the one part where they're like, I'm American, and they're like, well, which American? It's like, oh
Yeah.
fuck, now we're like doing that.
Oh, that's
Oh,
fucking what's his name? Jesse Plemons. He plays the
Yeah.
dude in Breaking Bad and a couple other stuff.
Yes. Um.
Directed by Alex Garland. What has he done? Let's see. He's done Ex Machina, Annihilation, Men, Dev,
Yeah.
Civil War. Well, that's coming out. 28 Days Later,
Yeah.
Sunshine,
He's a
28
big
Months
A24
Later,
guy. Yeah.
28 Weeks Later. Oh, he did Dread. I like Dread.
Yeah. I did like Dread a lot.
2012 one with the dude from The Boys.
Carl Urban.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
And also that movie was made on a very low budget. Um, and it looked like $1 million, like multi-million-dollar movie. Um,
Dread 2012 budget. Well, dude, it was $1 million. It was 45 million.
I mean, con- considering that, like,
I'm just saying,
you know,
it was still kind of hefty, like
yeah,
especially for 2012. Like that was like
yeah,
you
and
know.
like this is before Infinity War and all of that. So like, I personally hated the one with Sylvester Stallone. I that movie's so bad.
I think when it came out, it was like just because like what it was, you know. But
Yeah,
like, yeah, I agree. I'm not running to watch that one. There was another one that came out in like the mid 2000s that I didn't watch.
yeah,
A Punisher movie. Oh, you're talking about Dread, but there's a Punisher movie that
yeah.
came out in like the mid 2000s that I didn't even know.
I I heard about it because like my theater teacher was a huge Marvel guy, so he's like, "Oh yeah, they're making a Punisher movie," and then like I saw the trailer for it and I was like, "I don't think this is gonna be very
Rightfully so.
good."
I heard it wasn't that great.
Dude, like I remember sitting there in theater class talking to my teacher and talking about how Nick Cage was going to be Ghost Rider, and he like looked at me. It's like they're really picking the bottom of the barrel, and this is like
Well, no,
in
at the time,
2006.
no,
You know?
at the time he was popping, bro. People liked him. People like Nicolas Cage. That's why they did it.
No,
What?
we're talking about Ghost Rider, like as like a comic book movie. Who's like, yeah, they're really scraping the bottom of the barrel.
I mean, I guess I feel like people really like a lot of people at the time kind of wanted it. I know people till this day who like it. I'm not even gonna lie to
Yeah,
you. I know people till this day, till this very day, that like actually really dug that movie, and I'm like, what?
it's definitely my favorite shitty Nick Cage character. Like, like when he's driving on the motorcycle, just freaking the fuck out. You know
It's
the
probably the only Nick Cage movie I want to like. I would probably
that you
want to
would want to
watch.
watch.
Yeah, it's not saying much. Um, Speaking of things missing, there's been a big trend in comic book Twitter and Reddit and everything lately, YouTube, mainly YouTube, that modern comics is missing something. And that too many people are putting themselves in the comic as the character rather than just writing about the character. And I
Yeah,
wanted to ask you, Juju, and myself, give our opinions on whether or not we think this is true. And uh, I just want to say I have my opinion locked and loaded, so
yeah,
I can spout. I personally think I think the issue is that when it comes to DC and Marvel, a lot of it is Russian roulette. Like you're real like unless it's somebody you know that's a good writer and like whatnot, like you really don't know if it's gonna be good or not. You know, like where a lot of the independent stuff is usually pretty banging. Like, I'm not gonna
yeah,
lie though, I got that book Blood Drink from Image, issue number 1, because I was like, I want to try and prove this point. I know Image isn't the most independent these days, like it's pretty big, but it's still independent, I guess.
Yeah.
kind of boring. And I'm not saying Marvel's not boring, but there just wasn't a whole lot going on. Like the art even was kind of
Yeah.
like they didn't do a whole lot. And I was like, at least like when I open a DC book and they're writing shit, there's at least something going on. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, but I don't really think. I think saying them as a whole is a lot because I read a lot of modern stuff and maybe I just have shit taste then. But I like a lot of 90s stuff and I still enjoy a lot of the modern things coming out. Like Incredible Hulk's run right now, that's fucking
Yeah.
fun as shit. Excuse me, that's fun as shit, and the art's great in my opinion. Um, Another Marvel book is what the fuck was I about to say? Fuck Daredevil. That's been
Yeah.
fun, and that doesn't look like shit. Carnage issue 1 that just came out. The run before Carnage was the 14
Yeah.
issue run of that was fucking awesome. That came out this past year, and then they just put out the new run of number 1, which kind of continues it. And that issue number 1 was fucking dope. Like it was so dope. It was dark, evil. The
Yeah.
art was sick. I don't know, dude. And then right now you have Batman Off Worlds. That is like that looks good. I enjoy it. I mean, it's not your typical Batman story, but that's what kind of makes it more fun. Is that like it's Batman doing something else outside of Gotham and
Yeah.
like Earth? But I don't know. I'm rambling. What about you?
I think in the in the grand in the grand scheme of things, like the we're at a point now where the pendulum is shifting back to people wanting to actually be passionate and tell stories that they're passionate about that are interesting. I think for a long time, comics, especially modern comics, have been kind of on this like soapbox of I have a point and I'm trying to make it and I'm going to use these characters to do so. And I think enough people are tired of it. So the pendulum is kind of swinging back more towards the independent side, like you were saying. I think corporate comic books are now starting to listen to their fans just a little bit more. I
Uh,
also think that like a lot of soul needs to be kind of put back in.
well,
Like
no.
people need to start caring.
I think the issue is this, like, like, like Comic Book Palace on YouTube said. I do kind of agree with him on this. A lot of the issue for some stuff is people are putting their own soul and like they're not putting like the
Yeah, yeah.
character soul into it.
Yeah,
And
that's what I'm saying. Like their external opinions shouldn't matter. You know, like
well, that's always well, no, because see, the one thing I disagree with a lot of things is like people have always put their politics in comics.
yeah,
Like it just depends on like how they do it. Like does it fit? And when you overdo it, it's I always think it's dog shit. When I can tell you're writing a
yeah.
book just to like fit your agenda, I don't really enjoy it.
That's exactly what I'm getting at. And I feel like a lot of people are like us. We're kind of tired of like this constant
Um,
soapboxery. So like
well, no,
I use comics as kind of an escape from a lot of that. And
well,
I don't really
I
care
hate that
too
you
much.
say escape from soap opera because I'm sorry, comics
No,
always
I
been
mean
soap
soapbox.
operas. Oh,
No,
oh.
not soap opera, like soapbox, like being preached at, like
Well, yeah, no, I agree. Like, I don't really care to hear all this political shit unless it's like a political character. Then it makes sense, you know.
yeah,
But I don't know. I don't agree that you can't. I'm not gonna sit here and say everything coming out is shit though, because I do think there's some good stuff, but I definitely think there is a lot of bullshit just being served on a silver platter. Like I
yeah,
always say that Wong's run of Deadpool, like that just wasn't like not even because of whatever you want to say she like influenced in that book. That's not even the
yeah,
problem for me. It just didn't feel like Deadpool. Like it was just like it wasn't very exciting. It was like just this love affair, and I want more
there,
boom blood action when Deadpool's
yeah,
but so
and that's like I love you, but we can't be together for some unspecified reason.
Well, no, it wasn't even that. Like they ended up being together too. Like it literally ended up being like a lovely, happy ending. So I don't know. I didn't wasn't a fan. I want to sell it, honestly. I'm probably gonna take it to my local comic shop and be like, I will take $5 for this set of 10. I do not care. Like, get
Yeah.
get rid of this. But yeah, I definitely think we need people just writing like for the character and for the fans.
Yeah, and also like I think the like when it comes to Marvel and DC, the legacy characters, it's always going to be like, "Ooh, I want to write for Batman." Well, why why not go to DC with a pitch of your own take on that character? And it doesn't
Well,
necessarily
no,
have
I
to be
think
Batman. You know, like come up with your own character too sometimes. Something a
okay,
little
well,
new.
I think okay, yeah, that makes sense because I was gonna say I think the problem people don't like is that everybody's making their own pitch of these characters.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like for me, I would go the opposite way. Be like, okay, it's a character clearly inspired by Batman, but it wouldn't be Batman. It would be
I won't
what I
lie.
think that would be.
Like
You
one
know?
book that's kind of doing that I do think is really good is Gargoyle Gotham by
Yeah.
Raphael Grandpa or Grandpa Raphael, whatever his name is. That book is actually banging. That shit's banging. But dudes, if you guys like what you heard and you enjoyed everything, actually, hold on. Before we do that, let's figure out what comic book we're doing. So basically, we're gonna tell you the comic book week ahead of time. So
Yeah.
if you've watched all the way up until this point, you will know what the comic book of the week is next week. So you can look into it if you want, and then you can really see if our opinion's dog shit or not.
Yeah.
Ah, what are you feeling? I'm trying to see if there's any number ones. I don't think there is. Oh, there's Joker Harley Quinn Uncovered one shot.
Hmm.
I don't know if that's gonna be any good. There's Green Lantern War Journal number 4. There's Oh, this one's been pretty good. Batman Off Worlds number 2.
All right. I'm down with that.
All right,
Yeah.
guys. So if you see this, remember next week's comic book of the week is Batman Off-World number 2. So that will be out for like a whole couple days before this like oh well shit. This would Batman Off-Worlds would have been out for like a week by the time this comes out. So you'll have time
Yeah.
to like read up. So remember, never offended, always recommended. Make sure you follow us on Twitch at BrainDeadXTV for live streams at 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every Friday and Saturday. And if you're new here on YouTube, drop a like, a comment, and a subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Slam that subscribe and like button. And remember, never offended and always recommended, my dudes. Later.